Going live here with Joe Biden.
Thank you. Gov, Mike asked me, and say to Bobby, my good friend, he asked me back there, he said, do you ever get nervous? And he said, because I got up this morning, made breakfast for my kids, so I got to introduce the president. And what I say to you, Mike, you did a heck of a job, but I'd get nervous if I had to get up in the middle of the night, climb up a telephone pole, replace in the middle of a storm a connection that knocked out everybody's electricity, put a transformer in. That's what would make me nervous. So what you did was really good. I couldn't do what you do, pal.
What is this?
I couldn't do what you do. And I want to, and it's true, Mike, you're a union guy. Me too. I got in trouble, but I don't make any apologies for it. I'm a union guy. I support unions. Unions built the middle class. It's about time they start to get a piece of the action. To all my colleagues, from the county executive to the mayor, to everyone that's here, I want to say thank you. Thank you, Congressman, for the passport in your district, and I appreciate being here. I'm honored to be with you. 2 years ago, I began my campaign here in Pittsburgh, saying I was running to rebuild the backbone of America. And today, I return as your president to lay out the vision of how I believe we do that, rebuild the backbone of America. It's a vision not seen through the eyes of Wall Street or Washington, but through the eyes of hardworking people, like the people I grew up with. People like Mike and his union family, union workers from this Carpenters Training Center, people like the folks I grew up with in Scranton and Claymont, Delaware. People who get up every day, work hard, raise their family, pay their taxes, serve their country, and volunteer for their communities, and just looking for a little bit of breathing room, just a little bit of light. Ordinary Americans doing extraordinary things. People who break their necks every day for their families and the country they love. A country that, in fact, which on the day I was elected was in extreme distress, with the virus on a deadly rampage that has now killed over 500, I carry it in my pocket every day. I have the list of exactly how many have died.
This is the best.
547,296 Americans dead from the virus. More than all the people killed in World War I, World War II, the Vietnam War, 9/11. 547,296 Americans. And an economy that left millions out of work and created so much anxiety. That's why I moved so quickly to pass the American Rescue Plan with the help of my friends here in the Congress. I really mean that. It didn't pass by a whole lot, but with the leadership of Connor and Bobby and the Mayor, you got it done. Because it was an emergency. We needed to act to save jobs, to save businesses, to save lives. And that's what we did. We're beginning to see the results. We're on our way to having given 200 million vaccination shots in the first 100 days of my presidency. When I said I'd get 100 million done, people thought it was a significant exaggeration. We're going to get 200 million done, twice the original goal, because of all the help of all of you. Leading economists are now predicting our economy will grow 6% this year. That's a rate we haven't seen in years and years. We can cut child poverty in half this year. With the American Rescue Plan, we're meeting immediate emergencies. Now it's time to rebuild. Even before the crisis we're now facing, Those at the very top in America were doing very well, which is fine. They were doing great. But everyone else was falling behind. The pandemic only made the division so much worse and more obvious. Millions of Americans lost their jobs last year, while the wealthiest 1% of Americans saw their net worth increase by $4 trillion. Just goes to show you how distorted and unfair our economy has become. It wasn't always this way. Well, it's time to change that. I note parenthetically that I got criticized for giving tax breaks to middle class and poor folks this last time. I didn't hear that cry, you and cry, when we were doing the same thing. When Trump's tax bill passed, 83% of the money went to the top 1%. You know, this is not to target those who've made it, not to seek retribution. This is about opening opportunities for everybody else. And here's the truth. We all will do better when we all do well. It's time to build our economy from the bottom up and from the middle out, not the top down. That hadn't worked very well. For the economy overall, it hadn't worked. Because Wall Street didn't build this country. You, great middle class, built this country. And unions built the middle class. And it's time, and this time, when we rebuild the middle class, we're going to bring everybody along. Regardless of your background, your color, your religion, no matter, everybody gets to come along. So today, I'm proposing a plan for the nation that rewards work, not just rewards wealth. It builds a fair economy that gives everybody a chance to succeed. And it's going to create the strongest, most resilient, innovative economy in the world. It's not a plan that tinkers around the edges. It's a once-in-a-generation investment in America, unlike anything we've seen or done since we built the interstate highway system and the space race decades ago. In fact, it's the largest American jobs investment since World War II. It will create millions of jobs, good-paying jobs. It will grow the economy, make us more competitive around the world, promote our national security interests, and put us in a position to win the global competition with China in the upcoming years. It's big, yes. It's bold, yes. And we can get it done. It has two parts: the American Jobs Plan and the American Families Plan. Both are essential to our economic future. In a few weeks, I'll talk about the American Family Plan, but today, I want to talk about the American Jobs Plan. I'll begin with the heart of the plan. It modernizes transportation infrastructure, our roads, our bridges, our airports. I just left your airport. The director of the airport said we're about to renovate the airport. Is that right, Mr. County Executive? We're going to renovate it. We're going to employ thousands of people. He looked at me and said, I can't thank you enough for this plan.
What's the plan again?
It grows the economy in key ways.
Did this just start? I just got back to my
repair and
computers.
upgrade that we badly need.
We're on the live internet,
It makes
Justin.
it easier and more efficient.
I know, but I mean
move
Biden.
goods,
I mean Biden speaking.
to get to
Yep.
work,
It's live right
to
now.
make us more competitive.
Yeah, but it
around
just
the
started,
world.
right?
Some of you local officials
Yep.
know when someone wants to come in the area and a company
Okay.
wants to invest, what do they ask? Where's the first rail bed? How can I get to the railroad? What access to the interstate do I have? What's the water like? Tell me about it. It goes on and on. It's about infrastructure.
I've fallen and I
American
can't
Jobs
get
Plan
up.
will modernize 20,000 miles of highways, roads, and main streets that are in difficult shape right now. It'll fix the nation's 10 most
This is
economically
gonna be a long
significant
speech, isn't it?
bridges in America
feeling it.
that require replacement. Remember
Have
that
you
bridge that
have
went
you heard
down?
anything about this?
We got
I know there's been a
10
bunch of speculation.
most economically
speak on
significant
this.
bridges with more commerce going across it that need to be
Well,
replaced.
we're waiting for the details.
Yeah.
So far,
Also repaired.
so far, Joe's trying to
10,000
figure out
bridges.
exactly
Desperately
where he
needed
is, why he's
upgrades.
here, and
To
Well, what is
unclog traffic,
infrastructure?
keep
What the
people safe,
definition
and
of
connect
that?
our cities, towns, and tribes across
Mm-hmm.
the country. The American Jobs Plan will build new rail corridors and transit lines, easing congestion, cutting pollution, slashing commute times, and opening up investment in communities that become connected to the cities and cities to the outskirts, where a lot of jobs are these days. It'll reduce the bottlenecks of commerce at our ports and our airports. The American Jobs Plan will lead to a transformational progress in our effort to tackle climate change with American jobs and American ingenuity, protect our community from billions of dollars of damage from historic superstorms, floods, wildfires, droughts, year after year, by making our infrastructure more secure and resilient and seizing incredible opportunities for American workers and American farmers in a clean energy future. Skilled workers, like one we just heard from, building a nationwide network of 500,000 charging stations, creating good-paying jobs by leading the world in the manufacturing and export of clean electric cars and trucks.
how are they going to do that, Justin?
We're going to provide tax incentives.
They're gonna spend a shit ton of money. They're
Point-of-sale
gonna spend a lot of money
rebates
on
to help all American
all
families
this stuff, and they're gonna,
afford clean vehicles of the
you
future.
know, they're gonna increase taxes,
The federal
and
government owns an enormous
the world will
fleet
go
of
round
vehicles.
once again.
Turn on them
We're going
printing
to
presses, baby.
transition
Oh yeah,
to clean electric vehicles and hydrogen vehicles right here
it's gonna be a,
in the United States of America by
you
American
know,
workers
like we
with
were
American
discussing on the
products.
show yesterday.
When we make all of these
Biden
investments,
spent a lot of money, so we'll see
we're
how
gonna make
how he
sure,
decides to
as the executive order I signed
get
early
some of that
on,
money
that
back.
we buy American. That means investing in American-based companies and American workers. Not a contract will go out that I control that will not go to a company that is an American company with American products all the way down the line and American workers. And we'll buy the goods we need from all of America, communities that have historically been left out of these investments. Black, Latino, Asian American, Native Americans, rural, small businesses, entrepreneurs across the country.
He's hitting all them talking
Look,
points.
Today,
Oh yeah,
up to 10 million homes in America and more than 400,000 schools and child care centers have pipes where they get their water from, pipes that are lead-based pipes, including pipes for drinking water.
Wow.
According to scientists,
this sounds like me
simply
presenting
no
in front of a
safe
class
exposure to
that
lead
I just
for a
I
child.
just read the script.
Lead can slow development,
Like
problems.
it's
American
definitely
Jobs
he's
Plan will put
definitely.
plumbers and pipe fitters to work.
This is probably the first time he's read the whole script.
100% of the nation's lead pipes and service lines.
Still talking about lead
every
pipes.
American, every child can turn on a faucet of a fountain
And
and
this is
drink
gonna
clean
be
water. With each $5,000 investment,
this should be like an hour video,
placed
and
in
he's
the
only gonna say
line,
like
that can mean
10
up to
lines that are actually
$22,000 in health care
useful
costs
to us.
saved. Chance
How
to
much is the
protect our
infrastructure
children,
plan?
help them
What you
learn
can do
and
about
thrive.
taxes, and like
Can't
where all
delay-
the money in the
can't
infrastructure
delay
plan is
another
gonna go, right?
It's long past due. You know, in America, where the early interest was in internet, this thing called the internet that we invested, we invented this early internet. Here. Millions of Americans, though, lack access to reliable, high-speed internet, including more than 35% of rural America. It's a disparity even more pronounced during this pandemic.
Oh yeah, I feel the same way.
American jobs will make sure every single American has access to high-quality, affordable, high-speed internet for businesses, for schools. And when I say affordable, I mean it. Americans pay too much for internet service. We're going to drive down the price for families who have service now and make it easier.
Yeah, I wish Justin Trudeau would say something about our internet,
now.
because compared to the U.S., our internet costs are
Our electrical power and power grids
very,
are
very
vulnerable to
high.
storms,
I don't know if you know that or have noticed that.
Yep.
The tragic results. My American jobs
Let's
plan will put
let's
hundreds
get
of
some
thousands
fine
of
print,
people to
baby.
work, hundreds of thousands of people to work. Line workers, electricians,
Hopefully.
laborers.
He's just promising
laying
everybody in the
thousands
world.
of miles of transmission.
How,
lines,
how,
Yeah.
how, how are we gonna do it, Joe?
fully clean grid.
Hey, the printing
and
press
tapping
is right there,
hundreds of
and
thousands
I'm I'm
literally
sure that
orphan oil and gas
that he
wells
will raise taxes
that
somehow.
need to be cleaned up
Promising
because they're abandoned.
every senior
Paying the
citizen
same
one
exact
full bag
rate
of Fig Newtons.
that a union man or woman would get.
How are we
to be
gonna do
drugged
it,
at well in
Joe?
the first
Hey,
place.
How are we gonna pay for them Fig
We'll
Newtons?
build, upgrade, and weatherize
he probably
affordable,
doesn't understand it either.
energy-efficient
to be honest
housing,
with you.
commercial buildings for millions of Americans. Even before the pandemic, millions of working families faced enormous financial and personal strain trying to raise their kids and care for their parents at the same time, the so-called sandwich generation, or family members with disability. You got a child at home, you can't stay home from work to take care of that child unless you lose, the child's at risk, or you lose your job. Or you have an elderly parent you're taking care of. And seniors and people with disabilities living independently feel that strain as well, but we know if they can remain independently living, they live longer. American Jobs Plan is going to help in big ways. It's going to extend access to quality, affordable home community-based care. Think of expanded vital services like programs for seniors.
Oh my God! I don't know that I can do much
Think
more
of
of this.
home
I'm giving
care
this
workers
4 more
Yeah.
minutes. I'm giving this
homes
till
of
5
seniors,
p.m. and I'm
people
throwing
with
in the towel.
disabilities, cooking meals, helping them get around their homes, and helping them be able to live more independently.
We get it. We get
For
it.
too long, caregivers.
He
who
wants
are
to spend money.
disproportionately women and women of color and immigrants.
Oh man, this is like, it's very bad.
The American Families Plan changes that with better wages, benefits.
Gotta
and
hand it to Joe. He's hung
opportunities
in
for
there.
millions of
He's hung in
people
there.
who'll be
Well,
able
how
to
long
get
has this
to
been going
work
on? For 20
in an
minutes now?
economy that works for them.
Yeah.
20, 30 minutes?
You know,
Yeah,
decades
about
ago,
18 minutes.
the United
Well,
States
I mean,
government
I
used
wouldn't be able
spend
to like
2% of its GDP
recite a speech,
gross
even though it's
domestic
on probably
product
on a teleprompter
on
for 18
research
minutes. So
and
yeah.
development.
The
Today,
founder of the deep dive is now
We
joining us.
spend less than 1%.
My comments
of
were not
7/10
enough for
of
me on
GDP.
YouTube. This is driving me nuts. He was talking
Doesn't
about
matter.
nothing.
We're one of only a few major
Like,
economies in the world.
I mean,
whose
this is not
public investment
surprising.
in
I've
research
watched
and
a few of
development
like those like
as a
Trump's
share of
addressing the
GDP has
nation and
declined
stuff like
constantly
that,
over the
and
last
it's always
25
just
years.
like,
The thing with Trump
And we've
was,
fallen
love him
back.
or hate him, he always threw you
The
for a
rest of the world is
loop in
closing in
these
and closing in fast.
conferences. There was
We
always
can't
something.
allow this to continue.
yeah.
American Jobs Plan is the biggest
Yeah,
increase in our
and
federal
it was like, it was
non-defense
enjoyable.
research
Everyone
and
was
development
watching it,
spending
you know,
on record.
and usually he would say some,
It's going to
some
boost
weird
America's
stuff.
I mean,
innovative
the three of
edge
us are
in
biased. He
markets
pumped
where
markets
global
like no
leadership is up for
This
grabs.
guy just puts him to sleep.
Markets like battery technology, biotechnology,
Yeah.
computer
He's just
chips,
saying key
clean
phrases
energy.
at this point.
the competition with
Yeah,
China in
I
particular.
don't know how long, like
Critics say we shouldn't spend this money.
if he started 20 minutes ago, he hasn't gotten to
They
anything
ask, what do we get out of
important.
it?
Like, how long is this going to go? For another 2 hours?
They said the same thing when we first
That's
flew
not
into
the point
space
of
for
it. The
first
point of
time.
it is to make us all
Said the
feel
same
warm and
thing.
fuzzy before they drop the big
Well,
number
pushing
and
the frontiers
try to hide a whole
led
bunch
to
of
big
special
benefits
interest
back
deals
home.
inside the
When
actual
NASA
bill,
created
right?
Apollo's digital flight
Yeah.
control
So
system,
what are we guessing?
unheard of.
He said something
led
about
to technologies that
$22,000
help
in
us today
healthcare
to
costs.
drive
Like, are
cars
they
and fly our planes.
massively just
When
writing
NASA
off a bunch of
invented ways to keep
healthcare-related
food safe
debt, or
for
what are
the
they doing there?
astronauts, it led to programs that have been used for decades to keep food safe in
Honestly, I got no
supermarkets.
clue.
At least 2,000 products and services have been developed and commercialized as a result of American space exploration.
Anyone
GPS,
want to
a
guess about how
computer chips allow
how
us to
large
see and talk to one another.
it's going to be? How large
separated by
the
mountains and
infrastructure
oceans.
bill will be?
Yeah,
Singing
the
happy
last I heard
birthday
they're
and
talking
watching the
two.
first steps of that new
Yeah,
baby's
I heard 2 to 3.
Companies
2
I
to
would
3?
guess-
No, it's got to be at least
Needed.
4. The last one was
Think about
1.9.
what it means to you and your loved ones.
I mean, I don't know.
Should we do a gentleman's bet on this, boys?
I had a long discussion
I'm pretty
with
sure.
Xi
Like I'm pretty sure
Jinping,
that
leader
they
of
already said it was
China.
2.
Oh, did they?
Did they say it was
I-
2? I don't know. I thought that was like just a
That's-
speculation that was going
I
That's
on.
hopped
not-
on midway through,
He
so
said
That's what all the news
he
media
was
I'm hearing is
astonished
saying is 2.
My national security
Yeah.
team and the China
And I already have a bet with Steve.
He
So I
said,
can't
"You've
be
always
losing all these
said,
bets. Can't be agreeing to all these bets.
Yeah, I'm
actually.
gonna have to buy a lot of apple juice.
In one word,
Oh yeah.
possibilities.
But,
Oh,
I mean,
sorry.
That's
My source says more than
America,
2 trillion. That's all.
anything's
That's
possible.
all that's been thrown around. So
So a quick Google says
what we did with
March
vaccines a
1st it was
decade
at
ago.
2 trillion. 7
It
days
laid
ago it
the
was at 3
foundation for
trillion.
COVID-19
I think it's
vaccines
gonna
with
be
every day.
4. You prep the markets and build them
Like
up.
we
right?
did when the interstate
Th-
highway
th- this
system
is just
that
a warm and
transformed the
fuzzy
way we
speech, right?
travel, live,
Like,
work,
Yeah.
there's no
develop.
substance here. I mean,
Americans could visit relatives anywhere in the
we're
country.
not getting any value out of this.
Just a
No,
family
not at all.
wagon. Business here
Let's
in
get real.
Pittsburgh.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
load up a truck, you get a product to Portland or
I mean,
Phoenix. To this day,
Over 2.
about a
I mean,
quarter of all the miles
I wouldn't. I
Americans
don't think it would be
drive each
4.
year on
I
one
mean,
of
it'd be
those very
nice to see
original
4.
highways.
Oh, you know what?
Imagine what we can
Washington
do.
Post reported it
What's
being
within
2
our
billion.
reach, we modernize those highways.
Apparently
2
they
trillion.
released it ahead of time. Yeah.
You and your
2
family
trillion.
could
Yeah, a
travel
little
coast to
different.
coast without a single tank of gas.
What is
on
this
board
guy
a
even
high-speed
talking
train.
about, man?
We can connect high-speed, affordable,
Not
reliable
too
internet
much.
wherever you live. Imagine knowing that you are handing your children and grandchildren a country that will lead the world in producing clean energy technology and will need to address one of the biggest threats of our time. That's what we'll do. Altogether, along with the American Rescue Plan, the proposal I put forward will create millions of jobs, estimated by some Wall Street outfits over 18 million jobs over 4 years. Good paying jobs. It also works to level the playing field, empower workers, and ensure that the new jobs are good jobs that you can raise a family on, and ensure free and fair choice to organize and bargain collectively. That's why my plan asks Congress to pass the Protecting the Right to Organize Act, the PRO Act, and send it to my desk. This plan is important, not only for what and how it builds, but it's also important to where we build. It includes everyone, regardless of your race or your zip code. Too often, economic growth and recovery is concentrated on the coast. Too often, investments have failed to meet the needs of marginalized communities left behind. There is talent, innovation everywhere. And this plan connects that talent through cities, small towns, rural communities, through our businesses and our universities, through our entrepreneurs, union workers, all across America. We have to move now. Because I'm convinced that if we act now, in 50 years, people are going to look back and say, this was the moment that America won the future. What I'm
It's the moment,
proposing
baby.
is a one-time capital investment of roughly $2 trillion in America's future,
Oh, there we go.
Right.
largely over 8 years.
Roughly.
Over 8 years.
Will generate
You're in
historic
power for
job
4
growth,
years. I love
historic
political
economic
speak.
growth, help businesses to compete internationally, create more revenue as well. They're among the highest value investments we can make in the nation, investing in our infrastructure. But put another way, failing to make these investments adds to our debt and effectively puts our children at a disadvantage relative to our competitors. That's what crumbling infrastructure does. And our infrastructure is crumbling. We rank 13th in the world. What's more, it heightens our vulnerability to and attracts our adversaries to compete in ways that they haven't up to now.
What?
And our adversaries are worried about us building this critical infrastructure. Put simply,
I don't know what he said.
these are
there.
investments we have to make. We
I'm
can't
relying on
afford
the
to make
subtitles
them.
here.
Put another, we can't
Yeah.
afford not to.
At least someone got the speech ahead of time.
So how
for
do we
this.
pay for it? I spoke to the majority leader.
So-
No longer, I guess he's no longer the majority leader. He has been for a long time. I spoke to the Republican leader about the plan. Everybody's for doing something on infrastructure. Why haven't we done it? Well, no one wants to pay for it. Less than 4 years ago, as I said, the Congress passed a tax cut of $2 trillion, increasing the national debt $2 trillion. It didn't meet virtually any of the predictions it would in terms of growing the economy. Overwhelmingly, the benefits of that tax package went to the wealthiest Americans. It even included new investments that would you profit by shifting profits and jobs overseas if you're a corporation? It was bad for American competitiveness, deeply unfair to the middle-class families, and wrong for our future. So here's what I do. I start with one rule. No one, let me say it again, no one making under $400,000 will see the federal taxes go up, period.
I will take anyone on that
This
bet.
is not
I
about
won't.
penalizing.
I bet you on the other side of that. Easy.
I have
They're just
nothing
gonna
against
print their way
millionaires
through
and
it.
billionaires. I believe American capitalism.
All right,
Want everyone to
let's
do
do a friendly
But
bet here.
Here's the deal.
With the
Right
last
now,
time I
a
was
middle-class
right,
couple,
you were wrong.
A firefighter and a teacher with 2 kids making
I'm willing to bet that
salary,
it
say,
comes down
$110,000,
to, let's say,
$120,000 a year,
250,000.
pays 22 cents
Is
for
it
each
for
additional dollar.
400,000 right now?
The cap right now is he's saying
multinational
that
corporation.
anyone making
builds a factory
400,000,
abroad,
sorry, under 400,000
brings
won't
it
see
home, they
taxes
sell
go
it, they
up.
pay
I will
nothing
say
at
that
all.
will drop down to at least 250.
We're going to raise
Yeah,
the corporate
no, I
tax.
think I agree with you.
It was
Okay.
35%, which is too high. We all
Don
agreed
C gets it.
5 years
All
ago
those
it
middle
should go
class
down to
399K income
They reduced
earners.
it to 21%. We're going to raise it back.
We're kind of splitting hairs here.
No one should be able to complain about that.
You're trying to say that they'll lower that
World War
bar
II
from
and
400 to 250.
250 minimum.
Will generate $1 trillion
that could
in
happen.
additional revenue over 15 years. In 2019,
I tend to think that they're just going to try to print their way through this thing. No level of tax raises is going to be able to pay for this. It's a
I will
moot
bet
point.
you a $10 bottle of wine,
including
Steve.
Amazon. They use various loopholes. So
I know
they
you
pay
like
not
your
a
$10
single
wine.
solitary penny
The boxed wines,
in
right?
federal income.
Your finest box wine.
I want barefoot Merlot out of
That's
California.
just
It's about $14. In the U.S. it's like $8.
Paying 22%.
All right, and I want a box of Radlers.
Amazon and 90 other
God.
major corporations paying
Deal?
0 federal tax.
Man, you're really reaching at me to say something
Here's how we'll do
inappropriate
it.
when you ask for drinks
We're
like that.
establishing a global minimum tax for US
That's why I say it,
corporations
bud.
of 21%.
I'm gonna get kicked off YouTube.
That alone will raise $1 trillion.
All right.
I feel like
over 15
SpongeBob,
years.
certain episodes will be removed from history.
We'll also eliminate deductions by corporations for offshoring jobs.
All right, I don't know.
Shifting
Like, do we
assets
still want to
overseas.
watch this? I feel like
do that, you pay a
the
penalty.
good
You
good's
say
gonna be
you
over.
I'm getting a nice case of Radlers out of this, of course.
And use the
man.
savings from that to give companies
Great
tax
Western brand,
credits
please.
to locate manufacturing here and manufacturing and production here in the
So-
United States.
So you're suggesting that the Republicans are going to want to knock it down to
Ramp up the IRS
250?
enforcement against corporations.
Oh no, I'm
Either
saying
fail
that
to
you'll
report their
have
incomes or
divisions
underreport,
in
just to
the
make that
Dems
raise
alone
hundreds of billions
that
of
will push
dollars.
it down.
All this adds up to more than what I
My bet
proposed
is it gets knocked down to
spending in
250
fiscal
at a bare minimum.
It's honest. It's fiscally responsible.
400,000.
And by the way,
The argument will be,
the
oh,
experts will
that's
tell
still
you,
upper
reduces
income,
the debt.
and then it just slowly pushes
Federal
down, and
debt over the long
eventually
haul.
everyone will be
Let me be
paying this
clear.
tax.
These are my ideas on how to pay for this plan.
I don't think that
Others
this
have
will
Now,
different
for the
never,
latter part of that, that will take years.
this will
I'm open to
never
other
come out of
ideas, so
taxpayers'
long as they
pockets
do not
directly.
impose any tax increase
It'll
on
all be
people making
through
less than
just
$400,000.
more and more easing.
Let me close with this.
They painted
Historically,
themselves into a bad corner if
infrastructure
inflation
has been
runs.
a bipartisan undertaking.
A really
Which-
bad corner.
Many times led by
So it
Republicans.
will,
Was
because
Abraham
like
Lincoln
the Fed has said
built the
it will,
Transcontinental Railroad.
but the Fed's been like
Dwight Eisenhower,
it might
Republican,
not
the
be
interstate highway
sustained,
system.
which is
I
the
could go
whole
on.
debate, right?
And I don't think you'll find a Republican today in the
they've,
House or Senate. Maybe I'm wrong, gentlemen.
They know
doesn't
it's
think we
gonna
have to improve
happen,
our
right?
infrastructure.
And it's already happening.
They know China and other countries are eating our lunch.
But who knows if it'll be
So there's
sustained,
no
right?
reason why it can't be bipartisan again. The divisions of the moment shouldn't stop us from doing the right thing for the future. I'm going to bring Republicans into the Oval Office, listen to them, what they have to say, and be open to
And
other
then tell them to
ideas.
get out.
We'll have a good faith negotiation with any Republican who wants to help get this done.
This always ends well.
But we have
Oh, yeah.
to
Good
get
faith,
it
yeah, for
done.
good faith negotiations.
I truly believe we're in a moment where history is going to look back on this time
This guy's not.
a
Sometimes I just
fundamental
can't believe
choice
this
had
guy's
to
really
be
the
made.
president.
between
I know.
democracies and autocracies. You know, there's a lot of autocrats in the world who think the reason why they're going to win is democracies can't reach consensus any longer.
He's definitely going Sleepy Joe on us here.
That's what competition between America and China and the rest of the world is all about. It's a basic question. Can democracies still deliver for their people? Can they get a majority? I believe we can. I believe we must. Delivering for the American people is what the American Rescue Plan was all about. And it's been overwhelmingly popular when I wrote it. Everybody said I had no bipartisan support. Or overwhelming bipartisan support were registered Republican voters. And ask around. If you live in a town with a Republican mayor, a Republican county executive, or a Republican governor, ask them.
Ask around, Jay.
Rather get rid of the plan.
Just ask around.
Ask them to help.
Oh, I'll ask around, and I'll prove to you
American job plan
that you're buying me a box of Rattlers.
The new one I'm proposing.
Box of Rattlers versus a $10 bottle of wine.
I hope and I believe.
Who agreed to these terms?
Will join us.
I think you did.
And I hope and believe.
You know what? I will bump it up to a $50 bottle of
Democrats,
wine.
Republicans, Independents.
Or just five
We can do this.
$10 bottles.
We will do this.
A lot of boxed wine.
You just have to remember, this is the United States of America. And I've said it 1,000 times. There's nothing beyond our capacity if we act together. So it's time to move together. Thank you, and I hope I get to come back to see you folks after this plan is passed. And the question is, you have to attract even more apprentices, more people, because we're building so much.
That's not a question.
God bless you all, and may God protect our troops. Thank you.
All right.
I thank you all for joining us on SmallCapSteve today.
He didn't leave us with the question.
We're going to rebuild America.
Man, that's like there was literally one line that we needed to hear about, which was how much the infrastructure bill would be, and that's it. That was literally the only line we did.
Yeah. Well, this was you know what, guys? This was 30 minutes of my
life that we will never get back.
Yeah.
I will never get this back. But you know what will make it all worth it?
Is when you buy me a box of Rattlers.
No. It's when I crank on some tunes and have to listen to Jay get all upset that I have a soundboard.
Are we done now? I feel like there's some more things to talk.
Thanks for joining us on SmallCapSteve Live. We'll see you tomorrow at noon with Bruce Litton.